So what's up everybody, it's me, True Star Screamer. Dang, there we go. And we are here to look at the Infinite Legions, Space Traveler Phyden, and Dimensional Drifter Thanos. This is from the Four Horsemen, and these, I pre-ordered them last year. These are really cool. They are based off of the Glios system, which is pretty cool. I actually used to have some of these figures. I ended up selling them to a really cool TikToker named Action Figure Girl. They're like about this big, they're a modular system. You can look up Glios. But these are based off their Phyden figures, or their Traveler figures, and they're kind of cool. There's a lot of videos about these. What's kind of interesting, the history of these, is way back in the day when Four Horsemen were going to make Mythic Legions, they were basing it off the Glios system. So this is kind of like one of those things coming in full circle. The figures themselves are pretty much identical. We've got the cannon arm, as you can see here. We've got the same layout on here. Alternate heads. They're just going to be cosmetically different. So for this review, we're just pretty much going to look at the Phyden figure, and then with a wrap-up, we'll kind of look over some of the cosmetic differences. These just came in today, so this is fresh off the press. Got the artwork here on the sides. Again, this is all the Trevor 1/6 shooter photography right here, and all these photos are actually on their website. And then this is the Glios art, I believe, from Onel Designs. Again, if you ever go to a Legions con, they first have their G-Con, which is a lot about the Glios stuff, to be honest, I believe. So, we got the bios back here. Feel free to zoom in and such as you choose. I like the fact it talks about the background of Onel systems and the Glios system. So this is really cool. I am excited about these. Nothing here on the side. So we're going to get these guys open. We'll at least get this guy open. And then we'll talk about some toys. There's something very neat going on here. Now, there is, first I want to say, nothing truly to write home about when it comes to articulation. This is your basic Four Horsemen design. Mostly. Single jointed elbows, basic articulation, no ab crunch, but we got a nice waist swivel, which is great. A double ball peg here, which is pretty nice. The neck does have a slight hinge. This is very much more in their Cosmic Legions foray, if you know what I'm saying. One thing that is new, though, maybe not new, but I haven't come across before, is a toe joint, which I think is very neat. And of course, the big thing when it comes to these figures is not only do you have a very cool action figure, but if you're doing the whole customization, is we now have a lot of unique parts. Once again, that Glios is the inspiration for Mythic Legions Pop and Play as the gimmick, because they literally did it first, but with all the parts. I first came across Glios back in the 20-teens. It was kind of a combination of, and I'm about to totally age myself here, of Vangelis as well as TJ Omega, who did some great breakdowns of these figures. The Traveler definitely reminds, you have the whole Samus aesthetic, you have the Mega Man aesthetic, with the arm cannon, which is very neat. You do get a decent amount of accessories too. We got our tray here with additional hands. We got a neck collar here. Got these fan pieces. These are kind of neat. I'm not quite sure what to do with them just yet. I think one of them will plug in here. Again, I haven't really got a chance to mess with everything on this. We also get some additional heads. So two different helmets on here. More organic, a scarred one, which I think is pretty neat. This holographic piece, is this showing camera here? Yes. This holographic piece, I believe, has been used before from other Cosmic Legions. Another helmet down here, which I believe to go over the organic head. The little pegs that the Cosmic Legion guys like to do. And then we have another forearm, so when you take off the gun, you can then actually just have two arms, which I think is very cool. This is just more of I did because I could scenario. I did pop off the cannon arm and put on the other forearm on here. Did change the head out, and I took off the shoulder pads just to kind of give them a totally different silhouette. This has the basic Mythic Legions back on here, so we can put the slot pieces into there. Kind of interesting putting the wing adapters on that one and see what kind of mythic monsters I can put with this. I was like kind of doing the whole hybridizing the mythic and cosmic. I just think it's a neat look. Is it me, or does this remind me of Fugitoid for some reason? Maybe it's just me. But I took off the shoulder pads, which are very cool pads, I have to say. Again, this is new for the design. I do like how it has panel lining in it too. The paint is really nice. They put a really good wash over it to bring out all the dynamic parts. The robotic parts have a nice weathering, rusting look to it, and that's really cool. I also want to point out that if you do choose to change out the forearm, it is a pain in the ass popping this on there. You definitely want to heat it up with a hairdryer in general, because that gets soft enough. I'm not usually much for the popping and swapping because that does put some stress on the joints, but it is kind of cool just, again, to do those hybridizations. But it's a good design, I have to say. Now, when I was taking this guy apart, I did find some fun things to it. The arm cannon here, you can take the front off of it, and anything else that's compatible with this tab piece, you can do so. I think that is actually pretty neat. You know, it kind of reminds me of the mythic shields. So you can take, this was just sliding out. That was weird. So, at least I thought it was something. Oh, yeah, this. So this is removable. You get these fan ports on here, and I, honest to goodness, cannot find anything compatible for this, and it's driving me nuts. If anybody knows how to use these fan ports, please let me know in the comments down below. But I think this definitely gives some neat customization options by pulling out that part. Don't know if a hand can fit in there. That would be kind of neat if you could. And I don't believe this... Does this separate on a third level? No, it does not. So this is a single cast piece. So you can put this back on there, pop other things into there, maybe some of the other weapons. It's cool. One of the things I like to do with this is I took one of the clear pegs, you can pop that in the port here, and instead of having a Mega Man type guy, you now have a more Megatron type guy, which is infinitely better, as we all know. Just for kicks, I picked this head up at Legions Con. I still haven't gotten around to painting it yet, but and I got the hoses from one of the oh god, I keep blanking on their name. But, you know, the basic soldiers from Cosmic Legions, just to see how the backpack plugs into it at all. So, yeah, you could definitely have fun mixing and matching, and, of course, customizing your parts to it. So, it's fun. I won't lie. I actually really like putting the hoses on them. Again, that's from the Cosmic Legions, but just kind of cool knowing you can do that. Just to let you know the differences between the two figures. You get... This guy here, you get the 3 heads of the 2 organic and the 1 helmeted head. You don't get the scarred head. As far as the accessories go, you get a backpack adapter for anything you want to put in there, and you get these neck adapters to it, and also finally get the wrist hologram piece versus what Phyden comes with. So after that, they're pretty much identical. So you get the brain head, you get the brain head, and 1 less helmet, and you don't get the scarred helmet. So you actually get a little less gear with the purple guy, believe it or not. Also, you don't get the heavy reinforced collar on the purple guy. And I really do like these tubes on him. I think it actually really enhances the figure. But I digress. So, I will say this. If you're at a convention, if you see these go on sale on Four Horsemen's website, and you're curious about it, this is not a bad figure to have. If you're into the whole Cosmic Legion stuff, this is a cool figure to have for the parts. If you want to dip your toes into Four Horsemen and not commit to an entire line, this is a fun purchase for that. If you're like, Dave, do I need to have this for my collection to prove that I am an awesome action figure collector? No, you do not. It's not like a groundbreaking action figure. It's not, you know, game-changing by far. It's a Four Horsemen figure with some very cool sculpting to it, which of course is what they do. It's a solid science fiction figure. I would not be putting this in a 40K display. I put this for, casual space stuff. It's neat. It is honestly very neat to have. Again, I'm casual Four Horsemen. I'm not completely hardcore, but I've been enjoying what I've been picking up. I don't regret having him. I will probably keep him for a while, but it's one of those things where if someone brings me something awesome for a trade and they want it, this might be something viable for the trade shelf, if you know what I'm saying. So again, neat to have, fun to have. I would not be busting down, blowing up eBay tracking one of these guys down for, or wait for overinflated aftermarket prices. Because also Four Horsemen's pretty good at putting some of these figures back up for sale towards the end of the year. Just keep that in mind. But let me know your thoughts down below. Did you pick him up? Are you curious about these guys? Tell me down there. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like. We got so many cool stuff on the way. Yes, I just shipped a pile of loot from Big Bad Toy Store, which includes Jada figures, Storm Arena figures. Basically, I spent too much money. Please don't tell my wife. But as always, my friends, until next time, take care. Peace.